Buttons can be used in games for all sorts of things, like unlocking a new area or activating something. When a button is clicked, we have to show some indication that it's been clicked so that the player knows that they clicked it, right? We're going to be making a button that activates a bridge. First, we need to make the bridge, and we have to start off with an area for a bridge to be used in. For example, Roblox has this nice terrain looking area over here, but they never taught us how to do terrain in this series. So that's my problem with the documentation, but it's okay. I'll just make a scene with some parts real quick because we actually did learn how to use parts, so that's fine. Alright, here's our little scene that I made. And this is all using stuff we learned before, like how to change the color of the parts and the material of the parts and resizing and positioning. And I'll link that if you haven't seen it. I'm following a series, you know. So this is where our bridge is going to be. You have to cross over the boring dirt side into the luscious green side. Move the spawn part closer. And now we have to add a part and name it bridge. Again, you can name it in here or you can name it in the name property right here. Same thing. Resize it to how you like it and move it exactly where you want it to be. I just move it up a little bit so it's not like this. You see how it gets ugly? That's called Z fighting or Z fighting if you're from the UK. So I just move things a little tiny bit so they're not exactly in the same position, you know. Now you have to change the transparency of the part if you don't remember how to do that. Right here in the properties, 0 is completely no transparency and 1 is completely transparent so you can't see it. Just make it anything higher than 0. You can make it 1 if you don't want it to be shown at all, but I think 0.5 would be good enough. And now we have to anchor it so it doesn't fall through. Now you have to change the can collide, wherever that is, here. Or you can just begin to type it up here. Can collide, turn that off because we want the bridge to not be able to be walkable on. If the bridge is right where you left it and you go right through it, then it's perfect. Actually, let's move everything up a little bit because it's not much of a need for a bridge if you can just walk on the water, you know. Move everything up a little bit. Make this water more. And now we make this can't collide off. And now we actually need the bridge, assuming we can't make that jump. Let's see. This is why you test stuff out to make sure it's exactly how you like it. Whoa, 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 whoa. If you use parts, make sure everything is anchored. I'm wasting so much time, I'm sorry. And okay, well, we still kind of need the bridge more now. I like it better like this. Now we actually have to make the button. Create a part, name it button, and change the color to red. Anchor it and move it away from anything since we're going to be using the touched event and we don't want anything else to be touching the part. Make it a little bigger, do whatever you want. Now we have to make the button interactive. We used the touched event to make a trap before, but this time we're going to use it to activate the bridge. Let's see if you can figure out how to do all of the stuff we need to do. And if you don't worry, I'm here. I'll be guiding you through everything. I'll walk you through the first part and give you the hint. Inside of the button, you want to add a script, and then you want to delete all that print hello world stuff that's in there. We don't need that. And I'll add comments for everything that you need to do, and then you can try it on yourself and see if the comments help you out. First, you need to create variables for the bridge and buttons. Then you need to create a local function that does the following. It needs to print button touched. I mean, it really doesn't need to print that, but that's what Roblox told us to do, so that's what I'm gonna write. Changes the button's color from red to green when touched. Like I told you earlier about the indication and let them know that pressing the button actually worked. 3. Change the bridge's transparency to 0 so that it can become visible. And 4. Set the bridges can collide to true. And if you're wondering how I commented all this out, if you do these little 2 brackets at the start, bam bam, and at the end, bam bam, everything between those 2 brackets will be comment. And last but not least, connect the function to the event. And then we can test out and see if everything works. So if this was enough of a hint to help you, try to do it on your own. I think you can do it if you watch the last video, but if you can't, it's alright. We'll do it together. It's a practice project. So first things first, the variables for the bridge. The bridge is inside of workspace, so to access that, we can just do workspace.bridge. To set it to a variable, we say local bridge equals workspace.bridge. Every time we write bridge, it'll be accessing the bridge that's inside of workspace. Now we need to access the button. We could say the button inside of workspace by using workspace.button, but we can just start from the script and say the parent of the script. So let's just go ahead and do that. Local button equals script.parent. I'm gonna comment all these out individually so we can separate them into steps. Now we need to create a local function. And the way we do that is simply write local function. I know, really advanced stuff. And we'll call it button press. And you need the parentheses always. And then you need the end. I encapsulated all this because this is all that needs to be inside the function. And we're going to work on that now. Print button touch, that's easy. Print. We can literally just copy and paste this because it has the quotation marks and everything to make it a string. Change the button's color from red to green when touched. We could do button.color equals color3 dot from RGB. And remember, that takes a value from 0 to 255 for red, green, and blue. And what color do we want it? Green. So green would be 0 red, 255 green, and 0 blue. That's as most green as it can get. Step 3, change the bridge's transparency to 0. That's really simple. We just do bridge.transparency equals 0. Lastly, set the bridges can't collide to true so we can actually walk on the bridge. So bridge.canCollide equals true. Actually, Roblox did 170 green. I guess they were trying to be quirky, like, oh look, we didn't make it completely green. You can make it as green as you want, okay? Look at this. Roblox did 170. I mean, mine greener because I'm a free spirit. I don't know what that means, but okay, now we're gonna connect the function to the event. Every time you do this, it's the same steps. First, you start off with the object that you want the event to happen on. So what is the object that we want to make the event on? It's actually the button. That's what's going to wait for it to be touched. It's going to wait until someone touches it, and then it does the function. The next step is the event. You remember what the event is? Touched with a capital T. And the next step, you always write colon, capital C, connect, and it'll auto put the parentheses. And inside that parentheses, you write the function. Now to summarize, we do their variables. So instead of writing workspace.bridge every time, we can just write bridge. And the script knows we're talking about workspace.bridge. And same with the button. Every time we type button, the script will know, oh, I have to look at parent of the script. And the parent of this script happens to be button. So now we don't have to write script.parent, script.parent. Every time we want to refer to the button, we just write button. And that makes more sense. Local function, and then the name of the function, which is button press, and you need the parentheses every time you write a function, and this is where it ends. So everything inside of here is part of the function. This prints button touch in the output. This takes the button's color and changes it to 0 red, 175 green, and 0 blue, and it gives you a little preview of what that color looks like. The bridge's transparency is changed to 0, which is no transparency at all. So it'll be completely visible. 0 transparency is no transparency at all, and 1 is as most transparent as can be, which is invisible. And then bridge.canCollide, we set that equal to true. So now the bridge can be walked upon and collided with. And this just takes the button and makes it wait until it's touched. And whenever that button is touched by anything, it knows, hey, do whatever's inside of this function that you wrote in here. So it's going to do all of these things whenever that button is touched. So let's go ahead and play that to test it out. As you can see, right now it doesn't work, but what if we press the button? It prints it out, it turns green, it made it untransparent, and now we can walk on it. Amazing, we made it to the promised land. I don't know why I said that, but yeah, we did it. Good job. If your bridge already starts off being active, it might be because this button is touching something. Like for example, I'll just run it to show you if I unanchored it or if it happened to be touching something already and it runs. You see the button detects that it touched this part right here and it turned the bridge on. If you get an error in the output saying bridge is not a valid member of workspace, then make sure that the bridge in your output matches up with the way it's spelled in the workspace to make sure that you spelled it right. Or when you accessed it here, make sure that you wrote everything correctly, workspace.bridge with a capital B. And make sure that you connect the event to the function outside of the function. You can't write this in here. Actually, can you? I don't know. Let me ask the AI. Something went wrong. Okay, I guess not. And actually, I'm having fun with this project, so there's some optional code challenge, but this is the basics of it. And I thought of some challenges we could do so you guys can get some more practice and I can too with this. So I'll actually split this up into a part A and a part B. Part B will be the optional code challenge. And on there, we're gonna create a door instead of a bridge. One of the challenges is to create a button further away from the door, but I don't know what we can still do that, I guess. And change the script so that it makes the door change transparency so that the player can't collide with it. So it starts off being active and then becomes inactive. And I think another challenge would be, another fun challenge is to do one button to turn it on and one button to turn it off, you know? And that'd be pretty cool. In part B, we're going to get kind of advanced, but it's all good practice and I'll walk you through everything. You're going to understand it. It's going to be easy. It's going to be fun.